He is a legend whispered in taverns and war camps across Runeterra. A masked Grandmaster who can turn a simple staff, a fishing rod, or even a lamppost into a weapon of devastating skill. But behind the brash challenges and the effortless victories lies a story of profound loss, an unquenchable guilt, and a desperate, lonely mission. This is the story of Jax, the Grandmaster at Arms, the last light of a fallen kingdom. To understand Jax, we must travel back in time to a land that no longer exists, Icathia. This was a proud and sovereign nation, a satrapy of the great Shuriman Empire, yet with its own rich culture, its own scholars, and its own warrior traditions. It was a place of ritual and craft, where the study of combat was treated as a path to self-mastery. Young Sajax Kael'Rinx was born into this world, and from his earliest days, he was taught that any object could be a weapon, and every fight a test of character. Within Icathia existed an elite order of defenders known as the Kohari. They were champions sworn to protect the city and its Mage King, bound by a code of absolute duty. For a Kohari, there was no greater honor than to die for their land. Failure was not an option, but if it came, it was to be met with ritual acceptance. Sajax, with his prodigious talent, rose through their ranks to become one of their most respected members. His life was defined by this unwavering code, a burden he would carry long after his home turned to dust. The pride of Icathia would become its undoing. In a desperate bid for power to rival Shurima, its mages sought to harness a terrifying, forbidden energy they had discovered buried deep beneath their city. They believed they could control it, that this raw, chaotic force would grant them ultimate power. They were wrong. This force was the Void. When the mages unleashed it, the result was not triumph, but annihilation. The very ground beneath Icathia fractured. Horrific creatures, the Voidborn, tore their way into reality, and a wave of uncreation began to consume everything. The Kohari fought with unmatched bravery, but how do you fight a tide of pure nothingness? Jax watched as his brothers-in-arms, his people, and his entire civilization were devoured by the encroaching horror. He fought, he survived, but he was alone. Amidst the purple-hued ruin and the chilling silence where a city once stood, Jax found a single, solitary object still glowing with a faint, magical light. It was a brazier stave, one of the very tools the mages had used in their catastrophic ritual. This single, flickering ember became his only remnant of home, a symbol of both Icathia's hubris and its last glimmer of hope. In that moment, Sajax Kael'Rinx died with his homeland. He cast aside his name, his title, and his past. He was now simply Jax, a survivor burdened by shame and a new, terrible purpose. The brazier became his weapon, a constant physical reminder of his failure, his duty, and the promise that he would one day right this catastrophic wrong. Jax did not seek a new home. He became a wanderer. His guilt was not a weight to crush him, but a fire to forge a new mission, to find warriors strong enough to stand against the inevitable return of the Void. He traveled the world, from the scorched deserts of Shurima to the frozen Freljord, searching for fighters, duelists, and anyone with the will to face the coming darkness. He tested them, not just their skill with a blade, but the strength of their spirit. Each duel was a lesson, a challenge, and a search for an ally in a war only he seemed to remember. This quest shaped the Jax the world knows today. Publicly, he's a cocky, swaggering master at arms, baiting the strongest fighters into duels he almost always wins. But this brash exterior is a mask hiding the haunted man beneath. He is torn by the question of his own survival. Was it fate, or was it cowardice? Every victory is a confirmation of his strength, but also a reminder of the loneliness of being the last. He values will and strength above all else, because he knows that weakness is what allowed the Void to triumph once before. His journey inevitably brings him into the orbits of others touched by Icathia's fall. He and the chronomancer Zillion share a profound, unspoken grief. While Zillion is lost in time, desperately trying to rewind the tragedy, Jax is grounded in the present, carrying its last physical ember, focused on preparing for the future. They are two sides of the same coin of sorrow. Jax's mission also makes him a natural, if reluctant, ally to those who fight the Void, like Kaisa and Kassadin. They are all soldiers in the same Shadow War, bound by a common, world-ending enemy. And his path has even crossed with ancient, terrifying figures like the Darken Atrox, another relic of the wars that once ravaged Shurima. In their encounters, there's a flicker of recognition. Two ancient warriors who have seen empires fall and horrors rise. But not all his encounters are grim. In a famous duel with the Dalmatian Grand Duelist Fiora, we see Jax's true nature. The fight is less about winning, and more about the contest itself. It's a dance of skill and a conversation between two masters, where Jax finds a rare glimmer of respect for another's dedication to their craft. He seeks those who, like him, understand that a weapon is an extension of the soul. From the ashes of a forgotten kingdom, Jax forged a new identity. He transformed his survivor's guilt into a global crusade. For him, mastery of a weapon isn't just a skill, it's a philosophy, a way to read the heart of a person. That simple brazier he carries is more than a lamppost. It's the last light of Icathia, a burning ember of hope against an encroaching darkness, and a constant reminder of the price of failure. He is the wanderer, the recruiter, the lonely Grandmaster. He may never rebuild the Kohari, but he will ensure that when the Void returns, Runeterra will not be unprepared. He will find its champions, he will test their mettle, and he will stand with them, his light held high against the coming night. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the lore of Runeterra, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more stories. Let us know in the comments which champion you'd like us to explore next.